Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name ThatUmbrellaGuy?
I've had several phone calls with the person who goes by the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I don't actually know his real name.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
All bird sellers drive me insane. That umbrella guy, they didn't even know my name. Just called push a thing, and the elitist viper. Blunt, get him a diaper. Now they're crying while trying to drag me down. That umbrella guy, careful, all those tears might make you drown. Low rent journal, sobbing on the mic. Bots, are your writers still on strike? That umbrella guy, how dare you leak our questions? We'll accuse him, get busted, and we'll never make corrections. Envious of this platinum foe, so they target Adam Wallman for their tiny little show. That umbrella guy, how dare he laugh aloud? Oh no, look, we're gathering a crowd. Here's a plan, let's pretend none of them are real. Instead of admitting what she did to Depp is real. Wait a minute, they just computerized my voice. I'm a supervillain, that's their narrative choice. They're running a multinational AI army. That's what cost them millions. Yeah, that's really charming. That umbrella guy will show him how it's done. Call 911, he's laughing. He's still not on the run. Yes, Your Honor, Alexi is mocking my name. And he's monetizing me, that's not part of the game. That umbrella guy, he's not playing fair. No, Your Honor, I don't think the man's aware. We represent these mainstream matters, and net injustice, no, doesn't fit in our headers.
It doesn't fit in our headers at all, baby. What's up, folks? How's it doing? How's it going even? How's it doing? What the heck? Ah, man, it's 2024. I want to make this clear when I'm talking about this. It is 20 freaking 24. We are in October. We are talking about October the 9th here. And what do we have? Yes, the headline is very, very real. We have Team Ambi going at it yet again, alleging the craziest conspiracy I've ever freaking seen, making sure to go after, to loop in Johnny Depp, to go after Adam Waldman, and to target Paul Barisi. Now, the craziest thing about this, too, is they've apparently been having trouble serving Adam Waldman. And the way that they're going to go about this lawsuit right here, I mean, this is so nuts. This lawsuit is absolutely insane when we bring this up. Like I said, this is a subject. There's a certain somebody I have not talked about in a while, and I kind of don't want to talk about them anymore until they do crazy things. But you can't leave can't leave people like Paul or Adam Waldman and all them. You can't leave them stranded high and dry while these nuts take aim. And they are very much taking aim. Like, for example, service. Let me show you something before we look at this lawsuit. By the way, if you like this content, make sure you share it and tell everybody we're live. And if you'd like to go further, back the channel, well, do so. I'll show periodically here. I mean, this... Oh, man. Wow, what insanity. I mean, these people never stop. So check this out. I want to show you. This is the newest piece. By the way, too, Paul Barisi, you know, he actually has to get a lawyer in this. This man has to get a lawyer. You know why he has to get a lawyer, by the way? Because at the end of the day, this man was hired by Amber Heard, and these crazy people feel like he betrayed. If you don't know who I'm talking about there, that was the Hollywood fixer that Amber Heard hired. You know, the guy who was supposed to bury Depp under dirt. Yeah. He came back and said, no, couldn't find any of that stuff. But you know about that Heard? Yeah, there's some questionable stuff. He has a book out, too. It's on Amazon. You should check it out. It's actually he has some crazy stories, like some crazy stuff. And he's lived a fascinating life. So if you want to help him out, pick up that book. It's good read. It's actually fascinating stuff. But look at this here. Okay, so you'll notice it's versus Paul Barisi, Adam Waldman, and Doe's 1 through 10. Doe's 1 through 10. Now she's going to sue for, we're going to look at the paper, and it's going to be crazy. But this is about having issues serving. You know, because Waldman is apparently pretty difficult to serve. So off of this, give me 1 second. Let me zoom this in for you better. Let me pull this off of Twitter. Let me put it in Paint so we can actually look at it, because I want you to see this a little bit better here. I mean, like I said, this is nuts, because you can tell this stuff. I mean, it's nasty. It's nasty, and will it go anywhere? Probably not. But I'm hoping what this does is it ends up getting Christina Taft sued. Like, if this were me. Like, one thing that would be funny about this is I think Paul Barisi has a very good lawsuit against her. Like a very, very good one against her, you know, for harassment and just the allegations she makes about, I mean, they are crazy. Like, some of the allegations she makes about him are absolutely just batshit crazy. You know, you have people saying, I mean, apparently from what I understand, she was told that, you know, Waldman was meeting Barisi with suitcases full of money. Just crazy stuff. And of course, you know, the people that were telling her this, I mean, I cannot remote diagnose someone, so I have to be careful in the way I say this. But this person feels like they have some wires loose. Big time. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this in here. All right. I have it pulled down. This is the newest piece of this, and then we'll talk about the lawsuit itself, okay? So the order granting, this is an order granting plaintiff's motion for service of publication, all right? So this is, since you can't serve somebody, how exactly is she going to be able to serve them? Well, she's going to serve them through publication, which is wild when you think about it. How's she going to manage to serve Adam Waldman Yeah, so let's read this. Remember Adam Waldman, too. For anybody who does not know for some reason, that's Johnny Depp's probably biggest advocate out there. He was the guy that put together that trial. He has had some nasty pointed at him, and it continues to get pointed his way. You know, he's had some awful stuff pointed his way. It's totally nuts. But listen to this. So, the proposed order granting plaintiff's motion for service of publication, the court, having considered the motion for service of publication, memos, other pleadings, hereby orders that the plaintiff's motion for service of publication is granted. Service of summons and complaint in this action shall be made by publication in the Washington Post. You remember the Washington Post? You know, the place that put out the article that defamed Depp? You know, the one that you can say legally that defamed Depp? Yeah, that very same article is now going to be running this. And I mean, this lawsuit is batshit insane. But in order to sue or serve Waldman, I've got a cigar here, by the way. I've got to stay calm. I've got to make sure I'm calm. By the way, let me say this. Mel, thanks for the $2 super sticker. Saw that fall in. Thank you. Fallen Hero, thank you for the super chat there too. Appreciate you, my friend. And also, Summarize, what's up? Thanks for the 5. Tug, always here for you. I've recovered from several surgeries. Well, props to you. I hope you are doing fabulous, by the way. Thank you for all you do to protect due process. Best to you and yours. All respect, Lizzie. Hey, thank you. Thank you, by the way. I'm going to keep those up to date while we go over this. But look at this here. I'm being a little slow as we get into it because I didn't do a lot of build. Usually I talk a few. I want to make sure people see this so we don't have to go back through this because this lawsuit is batshit insane, okay? I want you to understand this. So the way they're trying to serve Waldman, though, is for 4 consecutive weeks, beginning in October, they're going to be publishing a service of summons and complaint in this action. Now, this action, by the way, I mean, this is crazy. Now, you'll notice the name that is attached to this. And this name very much, when I talk about people that are attached to Amber Heard, okay, Christina Taft. If you don't remember that name, you remember the little handbills that were put out? If you watched the trial, you remember somebody putting out handbills and attaching them to cars. You know, we kept talking about how that potentially could be attached to a juror's car, how that could have been a plan to try to cause a mistrial or to actually sway this trial. Yeah, that was Christina Taft. You know, the person who built bots, real bots. I have video of it. Like, this isn't one of those things, people, oh, you're a Russian bot and everything, People make that stuff up. Yeah, for real, legit. This person built bots. I have videos of it on my channel. I think that it's still pinned, the Jason Momoa bot. So Taft, out of her own pocket, built 2 bots. One bot that hijacks conversations. She calls it a compliment bot. I call it a conversation hijacker. I'm allowed to have mine. By the way, Christina, you sue me, I'm going to sue you for every fucking penny you ever make. So, you add me to something. Oh man, add me to something. Bring me up. I will sue you. I will sue the shit out of you. Unfortunately, she's pro se in this, by the way. She's representing herself. Like I said, this is nuts. But this woman, she built a bot that they demonstrated. Again, I have the video that shows this. 100% proof. It has their demonstrations they had online using it. There was a conversation about Jason Momoa. This bot hijacks it as part of the demonstration and puts up in a few hours 10,000 comments about Amber Heard. Christina Taft, that was who was behind it. In fact, she threatened to sue me over that, saying what I just said. Check this out. So, give me 1 minute. I want you to know who she is before we go forward. So here, this wonderful person, this wonderfully crazy, batshit crazy person, fucking, here's where they threaten me. You know, my name's out there. I don't care my name's on this. These people try to use it like it's kryptonite. Oh my God, I know your name. Fuck yourself. I know my name too. Thank you. But you can see where they threaten to say, you know, oh, it's defamatory. You said. It's coming from Christina Tapp. Oh, it is, very much. It very much was. She talked about it and stuff. It's defamatory. You can't say that it's a conversation hijacker. You're twisting the purposes. Oh no. This crazy fucking person like stalked many of us here. Like, I mean, like I said, this is wild stuff here. I'm just giving you a few things before we get to the lawsuit part. Here's when she was, quote unquote, running research. You see, like I mentioned all these times, look, this was on her research page. That's me. This is all about me. This is scraping the internet trying to find every sliver of information I've ever put out there, hoping beyond hope, because crazy. Not only that, but they were running groups behind the scenes. Here is them now. This is heavily redacted, but you can see that behind the scenes, this was leaked by somebody back when. This is an older thing. This is from 2022, because we're talking about something that should have been put to bed a long time ago. There they are contacting Scotland Yard. Falsely contacting Scotland Yard, trying to have someone arrested. They built bots. The creepiest bot, though, by far that they built was a bot that pretends to be celebrities. Can you guess which celebrity they had it pretending to be? If you guessed Amber Heard, that would be correct. That's right. So this creepy bot pretends to be Amber Heard. And I kept thinking, man, this twisted, lonely individual, are they building that to talk to themselves? Oh, no. I love you, Christina. Now, she's going to use, she's also, she said before that she would sue me, you know. She's made threats to that, too. Again, if she decides to add me to something, I will flatten the tires on everything that she ever does, meaning that I would take every dollar you ever make. Every dollar. You know, she's like, oh my God, I'm going to get you. Well, she decided to go after Paul, again, Barisi, and Adam Waldman. Now, this lawsuit is fucking wild, okay? I've seen some crazy lawsuits in my time, but this one takes the prize, okay? Buckle up for this, because you're going to be like, what the hell? Now, this is 124 pages. Now, if you're sitting there saying, That Umbrella Guy, I've seen 124-page litigation before, right? Yeah, that's because usually you're talking about something that has evidence attached to it, right? You're talking about something that actually, it blends in, you know, again, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, you know, that kind of thing. Well, and we're going to look at this. I just want to make a point first, okay? If you look at this thing, check this out. This doesn't have evidence attached to it. This is all one big filing. One giant fucking filing. Look at this. Oh my God. We need a little In Come the Clowns. I mean, look at this. Holy God, it's still going on. And again, there's no evidence attached to it. This is just a crazy, fucking whacked out conspiracy where she's like, I'm suing for $2 million. And by the way, $2 million plus, actually. $2 million plus. And, oh my God. And look, she's pro se. So she's repping herself in this lawsuit, by the way. for them, for a judge not to look at this and be like, holy shit, you know, serve you. God, here, let me I don't want you to have to watch me float that right back up to the top. I'm adjusting it again. And then after that, you know, what's really funny too? She claims that, you know, she was going to she was like, oh, you're saying this stuff's coming from Christina Taft. She was going to threaten to sue me. Well, what was really funny about it is the information that was gleaned for her bots came from the very website that she attaches her email to. I mean, this is nuts. This is so nuts, God. You know, by the way, let me shout a few of you out here. We're gonna do it. Dublin comes to Boston, thanks to the 5. How could you do this from Spain? Stop it, just stop it. She's broke. Yeah, this is what happens is, again, she gets these crazy people. This is my opinion. These crazy people, she's weaponized them. So they just terrorize people in the name of Amber Heard. That's what they do. They terrorize in the name of Amber Heard forever, you know? Forever and ever and ever. They're just going to keep doing it. So she doesn't have to be here. She has somebody else doing this. And she knows what kind of lunatic she's dealing with. Because some of these people are deranged. They very well are. In fact, you know, when I look at this, like reading through this conspiratorial insanity and just seeing some of the stuff that this person's brought to bear, it makes me, it legitimately makes me worry about people's safety. It does. Anna, thank you for the $50 super chat. Thank you for that. No statement attached. Plenty of statement there. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Niece, thanks for the 25 months. Hey, Tuck. It's been a while. Hope all is well. Yeah, everything's going good. I just looked at this. So look at again, here's the lawsuit. This is versus Paul Barisi, Adam Waldman. Again, you know, this is aimed at, and the conspiracy that's interwoven through this is all about, you know, the guy that as one of her people that she turns to for her information, you know, the guy, if people aren't aware of this, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but that at the very beginning, you know, Albertini, this guy here, I'm not going to play this all, but I just want you to know who I'm talking
I'm calling from Los Angeles.
This guy, that guy, that's a police report, by the way, that these people actually put together. There were 3 of them at the time, including Richard Albertini. They called here. I chopped it up because I thought it was funny. And I made fun of it, but she uses him. He's one of the craziest fucking people I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. One of the best live streams I've ever had was because of, he called DHS in California, and he's supposed to be complaining about like a plot that goes on, but instead he starts talking about Hollywood ritual sacrifice and how he was there to watch somebody eat like a Mexican gangbanger's brain, I think is what he called the guy, Mexican gangbanger, and how if he would have gone with, I believe it was Alec Baldwin and Nicole Kidman, if he would have gone and taken a body with them to wherever it was, he could have been some big star. Yeah, that's one of her main sources for this batshit crazy thing. An ex-felon, by the way, that went after Paul Barisi before and made all these weird fucking comments about. They filed police reports in multiple states, contacted the FBI about folks. Yeah, those folks. Those are your major players in this. Listen to these, too. If anyone's up, thanks, 5. Since Depp versus Heard 2.0, does that mean it's Tug's Tits 2.0? It's always time for Tug's Tits. That's funny. Now, you know, the reason, like, this is what I was saying, though, what happens. Like, they can't hurt Depp anymore. In fact, if you look Depp up right now, let me show you this real quick, too, and then we'll read it. We'll talk about the allegations and stuff. But if you look up Depp right now, I mean, he's doing really well. In fact, This really struck me as interesting. You have people putting out articles talking about Robert Downey, talking about praises brother Johnny Depp, artist through and through, after seeing his new art show. You know, when you read through it, what was really telling about this, you look at it, right? I just want to make a point with this real quick. When you look at this, you know what's not in this article? Like, check this out here. It doesn't say a damn thing about Amber Heard. It's taken years to get there. But now Amber Heard is obsolete. She's no longer being mentioned. That's got to be an ouchie, right? Because he's doing great. They can't touch him anymore. So what do? They try to fucking mess with people that are out there. Now, look at this. So the complaint is for a civil conspiracy. That's right, alleging conspiracy. Oh yeah, big time. Obstruction of justice, because they're essentially going to say that, you know, there were going to be witnesses that would have gone out there and talked for Amber Heard, but Paul Barisi and Adam Waldman. I mean, what crazy shit, right? Invasion of privacy, use of name or likeness, civil harassment, negligence for civil rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, interstate communications, interstate or foreign travel, or transportation in aid of racketeering enterprises. That's right. They're trying to pull the civil RICO thing. That's right. Destruction, alteration, or falsification of records, and Civil RICO Act. Asking for a jury trial. Like, no shit. Buckle up, people. This is a whacked out one, but this is fascinating stuff. So, plaintiff Christina Taft, an individual, respectfully asserts her rights to file this complaint in the court seeking dressed for a series of egregious violations perpetrated by the defendants. She goes through all of those that I just named right now. Furthermore, she goes through the rest of those. Plaintiff hereby invokes the court's jurisdiction to address these violations and seek appropriate remedies for the harm suffered, and hereby respectfully sets forth and alleges the following. Jurisdiction. So, jurisdiction here. Plaintiff, she talks about herself, resident of Hawaii, Adam Waldman, D.C., Paul Barisi, California. Of course, you have to set down that number. We've talked about this in other lawsuits. It has to exceed $75,000 in damages. Then she makes her allegations again. And then look at this. The court may exercise personal and subject matter jurisdiction over this lawsuit because federal violations, which include interstate, not only interstate, being subject matter of all parties, all individuals, and also witnesses residing in the following states. This nut job is going to try to go after people. Look, Tennessee. I wonder who she's going to go after in Tennessee. By the way, we have one of the most stringent anti-slap policies out there. Freedom of speech, baby. Freedom of fucking speech. And the rest of this stuff is just nuts. Just nuts. Now again, she talks about codes here. This stuff is just a mess. Just a mess. Look at this here. Pursuant to federal code, we're going to pick up certain items. Again, I'm skipping around. You know, there's a lot of stuff here, so I'm not going to read every word for you. Mr. Barisi and Mr. Waldman both co-conspired across multiple state lines due to Mr. Barisi being a resident of California and having caused injuries to Miss Taft and her businesses located in multiple states, including California, where Mr. Barisi and Mr. Waldman laid jurisdiction for their activities, and where Mr. Waldman shows liabilities. They conspired. Listen to this. Check this out. Defendants conspired, co-conspired, and continue to conspire and co-conspire as of today's date. So when she filed this, she was saying they were still in a conspiracy because what are the voices telling you? I mean, are you kidding me? Holy God. by threatening to kill, continuously mentioning harm towards, civilly harass, invade privacy of, intentionally and negligently inflict emotional distress upon plaintiff Ms. Taft, as well as to multiple individuals. They're liable for the acts of the agent. The acts of the agent. Violating USC interstate laws, witness tampering of objects and corruptions, persuasion, and interstate threats. Defendants still to this date continuously do these actions against Ms. Taft, as well as multiple individuals across named states within the U.S. What a fucking nut! She's going to get sued for this. By the way, like I said, you want to help out Paul, pick up his book, man. I mean that too. For real. Because he's, I can laugh at this and stuff, but, the man has to get a lawyer. Like, he has to get a lawyer, all because he was hired by, remember this. He was hired by Amber Heard. Not by Adam Waldman, not by any of those. He was hired by Amber Heard. But he didn't follow through like they wanted. So again, she goes back through witness tampering. You can tell, this is just a fucking mess. Defendants engaged in a scheme to corruptly persuade plaintiff by continuous fraudulent conduct, making false representations, causing continuous harm and intimidation tactics to defraud and misrepresent purposefully. What the fuck? Additionally, defendants utilize interstate communications in furtherance of the fraudulent schemes. Defendants in their fixing activities to benefit Mr. Depp. I told you, like I said, it's a giant conspiracy, and it's all about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That's why, again, this isn't just random people. Again, Heard surrounded herself with people like this, I believe intentionally. Engaged in conduct to tamper with physical evidence related to investigations and potential investigations by the police, federal authorities, and the FBI. What the fuck? Now, I love her. I love the way that, look, she's like, she's an individual, a citizen of the U.S., and a resident of the state. She's a humanitarian, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur with 3 generations of family in the film business since the 50s and the golden era of Hollywood. She's the founder of all these places that she says don't make all these nutty fucking videos and stuff. And she says, this one place, Save Me Now, founded by a former firefighter, has a contract with Ms. Taft for representation in California. Oh my God. Great stuff. So then they go through Adam Waldman. They go through Paul Barisi. Now, Paul knows that I talked to him. I said I was going to cover this. I was going to cover this document specifically. So anything that pops up in the document, he is aware that I am covering this. Just a note, I don't have to tell people that, by the way. You're allowed to cover any kind of stuff like this. But again, I don't think abandoning, like I said, I cover something till I don't want to cover it anymore. And I don't really want to cover Amber Heard right now. Like, again, when she tries to make her comeback, yes, we will talk about that. Because it will happen. There will be something. But I don't even know if I want to talk about that. I don't know. I'm proud to see Johnny Depp doing well. Very much so. He's had, again, movies, art exhibits. He's out there doing his business. I'm proud of him. Adam Waldman has moved on. He's doing his own thing. He's been doing his own thing for a while. And Paul, he just wrote a book. Like I said, all these people have moved on. One side has, anyway. So, defendant preliminary statement. Paul Barisi has masqueraded as a Hollywood fixer while maiming competitors, potential witnesses, and victims in civil and criminal cases and consumers for decades, since the 90s. Defendant Adam Waldman actively directed and rewarded Barisi for his own quote-unquote fixing purposes. What? What? Mr. Waldman directs the Endeavor Group, which claims we convert imagination and aspiration into tangible, powerful result. What? Why? Why put that in there? Again, I wonder what the voices say to, I'm not sure. But according to Depp v. Heard, a jury found that Mr. Waldman was acting as Johnny Depp's agent and was guilty of defamation in the Daily Mail related to alleged hoax amongst witnesses who were friends in that case. That is worded so terribly. California Bureau of Security and Investigations issued Paul Barisi a PI badge in 2009. His badge got revoked, put on probation for 3 years. He talks about all his stuff, by the way. It's just amazing. He's gonna sue the shit out of her. You watch. So she talks about his license. As indicated by Barisi, he has, quote unquote, directly worked for lawyers for many years. In an email from November 2022, requires license supervision. Miss Taft, again, she starts talking about herself again. Statement of facts. Listen to this crazy shit. So the plaintiff spoke with and assisted witnesses, including former employees of the Viper Room. Plaintiff had witnessed Mr. Barisi and Mr. Waldman's conspiracy, harassment, interstate communication, evasion of privacy, and emotional infliction of damage benefits each other and actor Johnny Depp. Again, they bring in Johnny Depp. How did that happen? I don't know. Mr. Barisi and Adam Waldman engaged each other in April 2020 onward, had financial negotiations. That's right, financial negotiations. Because he's going to walk away with a suitcase full of money from what I hear. That's an allegation, by the way. That's not an actual thing. Mr. Barisi published one of the phone calls with Mr. Waldman, who rewarded Mr. Barisi with a call from Mr. Depp, published that he had spoken with and advised Mr. Depp. Oh, no. They had phone calls. A lawyer did. Oh, my God. These negotiations transpired to travel to Washington, D.C. and chartered private jet as observed by JCB International Security Consultant, July 2023. Paul Barisi and Adam Waldman coerced perceived competitors, including Ms. Taft, for their private conversations. What? How? I don't know. Plaintiff to this day was continuously threatened, harassed, and has fear for her life. Again, how? Who knows? Okay, facts call. So I'm going to skip all this stuff, but this is all about her mom. It's all about her mom here. And then in March to April 2019, Ms. Taft was contacted by a potential witness in a relationship with a former staff member of actor Depp who checked on his wife. The potential witness wrote that many would testify against Mr. Depp and they did not know his wife. They lamented about missing co-owner of Viper Room, Anthony Fox, and his daughter's cries for justice, harms to oh God, that's another conspiracy theory. The Anthony Fox stuff. Harms to humanitarian work. Mr. Waldman is persona non grata, refusing to sign NDA. People sent by Mr. Waldman asking questions. The potential witness specifically stated, "We are replying directly to you." To Miss Taft. Having lost her mother or something, it drew her concern. The potential witness obscured their identity. She referred to this jarring experience as a case example for improving public safety for victims and witnesses. So some random person, she says in 2019, she doesn't even know who contacted her and made some weird allegations. And she's like, oh, there you go. There you go. She starts talking about herself again, being an investor. Remembering the potential witness, she stated to Miss Heard, to which Miss Heard replied, Now, Do you find that? Remember I told you, Miss Heard surrounded herself with people. Albertini, he stated that he had worked with these people. You also had Paul Barisi was hired, and again, didn't do what, but he was supposed to dig up dirt and bury the man. You have Miss Taft stating that she talked to Amber Heard. And she stated to Amber Heard that LA is dangerous, to which Amber Heard replied, Hollywood is not liberal. It's like, what? Okay, so this is more about her again. None of this stuff has anything to do with, I mean, look, her footnotes are nuts. God, this is still about her. I'm skipping. I realize. Like, this is a real lawsuit, by the way. I'm for real. So, Miss Taft noticed signs of automation, including under an interview titled Adapt and Survive after the outcome of the case Depp v. NGN in 2020, where some witnesses testified against Mr. Depp on violence. Miss Taft and researchers studied independently. June 22nd, 2021. Some person informed Taft there was a case of suspicious activity in money laundering of an associate of Mr. Depp without going into identifying information. Oh my God. More about her. May to June 2022, Ms. Taft discovered allegations that Mr. Barisi and Mr. Waldman interfered with witnesses, then subsequently, after discovering witnesses of the Viper Room, became a victim herself. Approximately May 2022, new friend Lauren Pena showed Ms. Taft that Mario Nitrini and Mr. Barisi had surfaced during the trial. Mr. Barisi claimed he was from the underbelly of Hollywood. Miss Pena sent Miss Taft that Mr. Barisi wrote, tragic death of, I'm just reading, transvestite who Eddie Murphy picked up in Hollywood. Oh, Lord. God, so much weird shit. A man discusses in the video a year to the day she's dead. This disturbed Miss Taft. Miss Taft saw Mr. Nitrini showed photos of email drafts about witnesses that Mr. Barisi had information on alleging interviews conducted by Hollywood fixer Paul Barisi. They were not testifying, quote unquote, through this very trying time. Miss Taft dreaded what would happen. She saw 2 photos of text from complainant Mr. Trini that alleged Mr. Waldman paid Mr. Barisi. So she saw a couple of texts. Holy shit. Look, Albertini. He's going to come up in here. Look at this shit. May 2022. She speaks with Albertini. You know. The guy I was talking about before. The guy, again, that has one of the funniest fucking calls I've ever seen. She saw complaints from Albertini, Mr. Barisi, threatening to shoot him. And he was tagging Mr. Waldman. On May 12th, by the way, Albertini, with financial assistance from somebody, who could that be, by the way? I wonder. Decided that he would go after Paul Barisi already in court. And he tried to go after him and make all kinds of allegations. And guess what? That didn't work. Why? Because Albertini sounds like a fucking loon. He does. He sounds like a loon. May 12, 2022, Albertini showed Taft messages to him from Mr. Barisi. Mr. Albertini again alleged that again Mr. Waldman paid off Mr. Barisi. I mean, Albertini again This is the same guy that says that Alec Baldwin and Nicole Kidman, and they were supposed to deliver a body of a Mexican gangbanger that had been shot by another actor who ate part of the brains in front of Mr. Albertini. And if it would have happened, Albertini, if he would have helped, Nicole Kidman, I mean, for real, like no joke. There's a real recording of all that. It's the best thing ever. They speak on the phone. Albertini provides names to Taft, which was provided to the Bureau of Security and Investigation Services in Sacramento, and a complaint was given to the FBI. Right here. You see these fake fucking police reports. Look, they're admitting they were making police reports about Adam Waldman, about a conspiracy with Johnny Depp, talking about Paul Barisi. They're admitting they were contacting the FBI. The Bureau of Security Investigation Services, having this forwarded over again. Like, it may sound, when you look at this stuff, the admissions in this are insane. Like the stuff they were doing. The FBI report includes witnesses involved in the event, detailed information ranging from approximately 91 to present. Here's all the people's names. Later, Mr. Albertini gave additional names. Then Mario Nutrini ends up talking to Miss Taft as well. Yeah, I actually found out about what they were doing behind the scenes because of some of the leaked stuff. I saw some of the emails, and they were fucking crazy. Oh man, wait. Provided information on known actresses. Formerly, the latter few were named by infamous broker somebody. Jennifer Howe, Nair, had been known. Further new information related to Elon Musk, including alleged paternity. Oh my God. Albertini reiterated that Barisi threatened him during a trial. He wanted to testify as a witness about a woman he saw being assaulted by Depp. Now again, nobody wanted Albertini to testify. We're talking about an ex-felon who lies a lot. I mean, we are talking about a lot. And nobody wanted him. But his statement was, listen to this. This is in there. Albertini told her that after Mr. Barisi's blackmailing coercion attempts, Mr. Waldman promised to pay him to lie for Depp. Albertini, May 19th, stated he wanted to testify against Depp. What the shit? More files sent. Emails Ms. Taft received from Retrini, documentation showing Mr. Barisi sending information to Mr. Waldman, becoming an agent for Mr. Waldman. So apparently if you send information, you know, I wonder how many people actually sent information back and forth to accounts like his Twitter account, for example. You know, when the trial's going on and they're talking about stuff, I wonder how many thousands of people sent information there or had communications and more. Like, it's so nuts. The emails show Mr. Waldman and Mr. Barisi conspiring for Mr. Depp. The documentations, which Mr. Barisi had read. Again, remember, this is a real lawsuit, as I keep saying. I'm laughing at it, but it does suck that somebody has to be sued in there. Hey, what's up, Tug Sim, by the way? How you doing? Thanks for the 5 there. Hey there, Tug. Just like old times. Good times. Nice to see some old faces. Missed out, Tugs, Thugs. I know. I love all you folks, by the way. Everybody having a good day, getting along. Good times, right? times. Debbie, thanks for 10. Love your honesty and compassion, Doug. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, like I said, we make jokes about this stuff. But again, this is aimed at real people. This is harassment. Why is Waldman harassed? Because he told the truth about a trial. He's become, and why is Barisi targeted? Because he decided not to engage and go in and destroy Johnny Depp. So then you have again more communication. Her saying, oh, after seeing this stuff, I feared retaliation. He contacted other people on the phone. Mr. Barisi proceeded to misrepresent himself, offered to give Daniel Brummett a job. I don't know. He wanted access to Miss Taft. He sent a file to Mr. Brummett. He wanted to make certain they stopped talking with witness Mr. Albertini. Albertini's crazy as shit. I don't blame him for wanting it. Mr. Brummett felt intimidated as he indicated to Miss Taft for concern for his son, safety of his son. Barisi, by the way, I mean, Barisi has a very entertaining life. Barisi, though, I'll tell you, man, that dude is a teddy bear. Like he is, man. I've had conversations with Barisi. I've had a few conversations with Barisi. I sat down and talked to him because I wanted to know about his life. I wanted to know. His life is fascinating, like I said. And there are things that when he brought it up, like if I disagree, like, again, we actually, you know, we disagree. We might argue about a point like I would with anybody else, you know, like a Megan or anyone else. But guess what? Not this thing. This is just nuts the way that this is framed. But Mr. Barisi, he left aggressive voicemails. Okay. June 8th, having been alerted to the witness's harm and due process ailments, Ms. Taft pleaded for an attorney to oversee an expert for investigations about witness harms. She knew of an expert that showed interest in 2021, or from 2021. 2022. An expert, Neil R., I'm going to say, suggested a witness harms investigation could be part of an animus, but a California attorney advised that legally that's not for appellate court. Ms. Taft worried about due process, started to finance an amicus brief. So again, you know, she put in, by the way, from what I understand, there was a third party. So one of their three people, so there was a Taft, I can't remember the other person's name. They were involved in like contacting the FBI and other crazy shit. But there were three of them. You know, there was Taft, Albertini, and this other person. I'd have to go back because I can't remember their name. But this person decided to write me and to tell me all about what they were doing. Plus, they also talked about some of the stuff they were doing beforehand. One of the things they talked about was the expenditures from Taft. And they alleged that Taft, just on the quote-unquote investigations after hiring a PI, had spent tens of thousands of dollars on this insanity. So when you talk about the weaponization, you talk about somebody going in and using money to try to do harm. Oh, yeah. I'd say that person did it. Now, she brings up the lawsuit from City of Lies, you know, the one that, well, where did that go? She's like, oh, Mr. Waldman and Mr. Barisi, they were working to harm that case too. Mr. Nitrini attached documentation informing Miss Taft that a witness list for that case initially had Miss Hurd as a witness. Afraid of retaliation and not understanding the full issue of investigation, needing licensure, June 16th, Miss Taft asked retired LAPD licensed private investigator Mike McCormick for assistance. My McCormick, trying to assist Taft, later provided witness phone numbers. Again, talking about she gets this person involved. They start reporting to the FBI, all of this insanity. She's talking about providing, again, she provided audio recording twice to the FBI in emails. Once in 2022 and once in February 20. I hope Paul, Rebecca Berry, that's who it was. Rebecca Berry. That's who it was. Yeah, what's up? Blast from the past. Again, I found out that these people made an FBI complaint regarding myself, a false one, when I was on vacation trying to get away from the nut jobs. I found out right in the middle of a vacation that they were doing this stuff. Audio recording Mr. Barisi, or Mr. Waldman speaking Albertini about Mr. Barisi. Mr. Waldman was aware of Mr. Barisi's threats. Mr. Waldman showed a lack of concern about Mr. Barisi's audio tapes. Mr. Albertini told Mr. Waldman he thought Barisi is basically a hitman. Witnesses would call Mr. Waldman after Mr. Barisi contacted them and made them interpret the worst, making Mr. Barisi useful to Mr. Waldman. What? What the fuck? Mr. Waldman wanted witnesses to cooperate with him for Mr. Depp and Mr. Barisi to serve that purpose. Defendant, Mr. Waldman conspired for his interest, Mr. Barisi, to do unlawful harm, seen in the following sections of a phone call with Mr. Albertini. So, she actually puts in, look at this fucking footnotes. Look at this. Oh my God. Okay, so this is an entire phone call. This should actually be an exhibit. Christina, when you're going to file something, you file exhibits. This is not how you do this. And you're actually doing it this way. I mean, this is a fucking mess. June 17th, Ms. Taft inquired about negotiation of payments to witnesses and intimidation to witnesses by contacting Mr. Albertini's former lawyer, who he stated negotiated with Mr. Waldman, who Albertini stated. Albertini provided text that Mr. Waldman emailed to meet her. Now, the lawyer was like, there was no financial negotiations. You see her say this right here. But she's like, oh, I know there was different. I have email. I have recordings. Ms. Taft wrote they would be reporting to law enforcement and cited California law on recording felonies against people, including bribery and extortion. Bribery of witnesses was reported to the Department of Consumer Affairs. So here, okay, we have the FBI, Department of Safety. The FBI contacted multiple times. We have the Department of Consumer Affairs. I need to mark all these places, On June 20th, 2022, Mr. Waldman, through Mr. Stephen Braga, threatened Mr. Albertini, Ms. Taft, including as any third party, with alleged conspiracies and authorities. Mr. Albertini responded with, "Get your bitch Marisi under control. I'm represented. Don't contact me again." What a nut. This guy, by the way, just to really stress how crazy this guy is. When these people were trying to do damage and alleging things, they tried to go to the Southern Poverty Law Center about myself. Let me show you this real fast, and then we'll come back, okay? Just give me 1 second, okay? Like, just to tell you how crazy these people are, okay? Here is them saying this Ghostbuster symbol with the umbrella symbol burned into its head saying "cry harder" was actually a logo from the KKK. And they contacted the Southern Poverty Law Center and tried to cancel me with it. No joke. That's real. That happened. Oh my God. Here, let me go back. Oh my God. June 22nd. Mr. Albertini calls somebody about the threat she stated happened to her and to witness James Franco. She states intimidation is continuing. She provides this to Mr. McCormick. Ms. Taft and Mr. Albertini started to find interviews and witness statements, true and correct copies, emails. Mr. Barisi had changed witness statements, including one whom he sent to attorneys. In a phone call, correcting an email titled "A Cooperating Witness," she goes through saying, again, he's tampering with evidence. Other notes by Mr. Barisi of cooperating witness Mr. Albertini's statements were corrected, including those with potential criminal and civil liabilities. Including this recording is correcting that Mr. Depp's inner circle through the Viper Room did not pay protection fees to the mafia. What the shit? What am I doing here? Oh my God, this is so nuts. Ms. Taft and several others reported Mr. Barisi to the Department of Consumer Affairs. So again, they went after him, a bunch of them, because again, remember, Mr. Barisi here, he went out and interviewed, and he talked about how Mr. Depp was not what they wanted to say. So they had to go after it. They reported him for trying to harm witnesses. Taft, I believe, unless she spent all her money in this crazy, she has money because of a horrible incident. That she can correct this if I'm wrong, but I understand that she has money because of a terrible thing that happened, and she inherited because of family, and this is how you get sued. This is a primer on how you get sued. Right here. Because she's admitting to all kinds of crazy shit here. Ms. Taft with documentation shows communication between Waldman, Barisi to silence Mr. Albertini. Ms. Taft advised witnesses that Mr. Barisi was wrongful in intentionally harming witnesses. It was not on behalf of Miss Hurd or Mr. Musk through implication. So, again, bringing up Elon and the Amber, which are part of Mr. Barisi and Mr. Waldman's larger misrepresentation scheme to benefit Mr. Depp. Mr. Albertini went into further details, talking about all of these crazy fucking things. Oh my God. Oh my God. Some of these, I'd read these, but I don't want to read all of these to you. I think I'll post this for folks, if you haven't seen it though. Because you can see, like, all of this is just random freaking people just saying things, mostly Albertini. The same recording, Mr. Barisi stated Mr. Albertini said he stated nothing to Mr. Barisi about Mr. Depp causing the death of Mr. Fox directly. He witnessed his friend Paul Schindler bragging about killing Mr. Fox. Again, these are the crazy tales that Albertini will make. He's like, I saw these killings. Remember, he saw somebody eating brains. So that's the guy there. Mr. Barisi showed anger at Albertini and Taft discovering his agency, increasing threats to make them. He was like, you fucking people need to stop. Like, I can understand why. I mean, this was nuts. And people didn't realize how bad it was. They thought it was just these really three lunatics being empowered by a bunch of other lunatics to do stuff. You notice none of these folks are bragging about what's going on here because they know how crazy this shit is. you know, all the herdies online, they're not bragging about this lawsuit. They're not talking about it. Why? Because it is just batshit insane. You know? They stated Mr. Franco was threatened with being killed and had seen Miss Heard with a bruise on her face. Yeah, Franco, I think with Franco, again, I think they planned that Franco was going to be their go-to guy. You know? Here's what Breesy said. This is supposed to be a subtle wish for death about Mr. Albertini. His allegations against Johnny Depp are as baseless as he is. Not a more cowardly weakling of a little man has ever breathed air. So this is supposed to be a threat. He's talking, Breesy's talking shit. Listen to it. This is funny. His allegations against Johnny Depp are as baseless as he is. Talking again about Albertini. Not a more cowardly weakling of a little man has ever breathed air. That's not a threat, by the way, moron. That is him talking pretty correctly, in my opinion, about Albertini. You know, he doesn't speak truth. His allegations are as baseless as he is. He's a coward. He's a weakling of a little man. None has ever been any more that than him. You have more texts from Albertini. So she provides this to the FBI. With Mr. Barissi's audio recording with his text and about killing and 10 million. What? On their own accord, Mr. Albertini, Paul, okay, so this guy here, this guy, if you're wondering, Palomares, if you ever heard about the crash unit, you know, the police corruption scandal, this insanely big one, all these police, they were essentially working like a gang. You know, they were doing the things gangs do. Horrible stuff. He was one of them. He went to prison over that. So you have ex-con, and I don't know who McKinney is. I don't remember. But the reason I know this guy is because he would pop up as the witness for Albertini over and over again. But they filed their own police report. South Carolina stated Albertini was a witness for a retrial. There was no retrial, by the way, no witnesses. That was given to the FBI. So again, they file another police report, try to get it turned over to the FBI. Including this were allegations about Barissi being a hitman, financial transactions, cited their email. Again, this is how you get sued. Oh my God. So, Palomares was also reaching out to people. That's fascinating. Look at what they were doing behind the scenes, what they admit to. You know? Like, it's crazy. More allegations, roll through that. She gets dozens of emails sent to a retired LA. Oh, this is the McCormick. You know? Talking about Trini. He was saying, you know, I gave him money. Yeah. It wasn't saying I paid him off to do things, by the way. He said that he was down on his luck. He tried to help the guy out. That's what he alleged there. I've heard that story before. So it's so crazy to hear this brought up as like some kind of conspiracy. Mr. Albertini says Mr. Barissi plays both ends against the middle. He's playing both sides. I mean, look at this. Oh, Jane Doe in Tennessee. I remember this stuff. And actually, what's fascinating is I've seen part of what's being alleged here about Paul Barisi. And this is such a warped version of what's going on here. Because I actually saw, you know, in that moment, I saw a bunch of this stuff and what was being alleged versus what was being actually noted. More people randomly talked to. Good God. I mean, this investigator working with her, man, took her for a lot of money. That's what it looks like to me. Mr. Barisi recorded the following audio in a telephone call with a potential witness to violence, including hiring to kill, and that he replayed in an intimidating circumstance onto a voicemail after Miss Taft spoke with that witness, Mr. Albertini. Oh no. Oh no. He replayed something to Mr. Albertini. Again, just look at this. Like, look at it. We're only 28 pages into this madness. And this is what I mean. Like, this is what's going on in 2022. Here's a complaint with the Department of Consumer Affairs, Bureau of Safety, Investigative Services about thwarting the judicial process. Mr. Barisi discovers the police report in South Carolina and the TRO. This is evident because September 29th, he emails the sheriff's office and publishes his email that include, on behalf of Johnny Depp, his general counsel, Adam Waldman, that he requested Mr. Natrini sent the accounts, Mr. Albertini's posting on the arrangement. So he finds out about them making these freaking insane things. Oh, he escalates coercion tactics through pressuring people, including over the phone and text. This includes fabricated implications before exposure. I mean, again, so he's contacting the police and being like, yo, this person is making these insane, and telling other people. Like, what the hell is up? Yo. Oh my God. Mr. Barisi breaches the TRO by looking for Mr. Albertini, Taft's locations. This search by him included questioning her alleged sexuality. Probably said she was hot for freaking Amber Heard or something, I'm sure. Mr. Albertini, Miss Berry, report this to the police. So here's another police call. Yet another one where they go after him. Oh my God. September 27, 2022, a video surfaced. Mr. Waldman and Mr. Barisi intended to end Miss Depp on appeals, which Mr. Barisi tweeted with words from the audio recording on vandalism, break-ins, and interference. We're going to end you. And she's like, that meant end her life. Oh my God, they were plotting to take out Amber Heard. That's exactly what they're saying here. That's exactly what it's being said. Miss Taft was removed from this board that she noted being part of October 2022 during Barisi's intensifying harassment. Miss Taft had fear that Mr. Barisi and Waldman could harm any of her current or previous business partners or employees, including this, who appears in a LinkedIn profile. Due to this, for approximately 2 years, she could not communicate with them as they grew to 35 employees. Oh my God. She was removed from. Was she removed by them? I'm curious. And she blamed it on him? I don't know. This stuff is just nuts. If this shit doesn't get knocked out of court and laughed out, I'm going to be very upset. I don't know. I would love, like I said, what you're going to see here, though, is Paul's going to, he's going to end up suing her. Hell, he is, for sure. So Miss Taft, on October 5th, 2022, he wrote, "I don't care what the Undertaker says after I'm not a hitman." Mr. Barisi then wrote, referring to a friend of Miss Taft's texting him with an image of a girl tied up in a room. Miss Taft didn't know which friend. Oh, no. She reported this to the LAPD. So again, here's her reporting, making another false report to the LAPD. Oh, no. I was afraid to go into timeline details due to this, I guess, officer asking if Amber was her friend after looking at the full posting of the photo. Next to Amber's name is Die Hard. She stated no and was advised to get a restraining order. So then she makes an additional report to Consumer Affairs Bureau of Safety Investigative Services. Another one. Like, this is harassment. Like, this is harassment. Along with repeatedly discussing Ms. Taft's finances to exploit, Mr. Barisi implicated $10 million to Taft, which was reported to the FBI. I have no idea what that means, but that's reporting shit to the FBI. I'm just looking for all the admissions of wrongdoing right now. And in the same recording, Mr. Barisi offers money to Miss Berry for an audio recording of Miss Taft and Mr. Albertini, while stating Miss Berry won't be implicated if she complies. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This was one of the conspirators right here. And if Paul contacted me and was like, hey, you won't be implicated if you comply with what I'm saying, I won't sue you too. Oh, he has every right to do that. These people were plotting behind the scenes to try to ruin his life, you know? Oh my God. This is the person, like I said, that straight up was part of calling the police falsely for me, FBI, and then spilled the beans on them. 100%. And that's how I found out a lot of stuff that was going on. Because she didn't want to get sued. She knew that they had gone so far that they were going to get sued. And she was afraid that I was going to sue her, you know, because of how far. Rhea Rye, thanks for the 2. I miss you saying that certain Aquaman starlet. Ex-Aquaman starlet now. That's funny. Lily, by the way, thanks for the 5. Can't find his book on Amazon. Spell his name, please. Let me actually, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can link. Can somebody link that in the chat too? B-A-R-R-E-S-I. Let me see. It's B-A-R-R-E-S-I. It'll be at the very top of everything. Let me see if I can put this in the chat, okay? I don't know. It may put a giant link in there. I don't know if it'll put that link in. Here's the name of it. Let me post the name because it keeps putting up this gigantic link. I'll have to do one of those small ones. But it's called Johnny Depp's Accidental Fixer. It's B-A-R-R-E-S-I. Like I said, it's a fascinating read. But more than that, you know, he hasn't asked for money or anything. Yeah, if he did, I mean, to sue these people, you know. Snugglestroll, thanks for the 10. No sane judge will accept this abject hearsay. Remember when Turd's crazy cat lady lawyer said Turd just wants to get on with her life? Taft is stuck in the past and capable of moving on. That's true. DTG, thanks for the 10. Paul Barisi's asking for your ear. $5 some candy. Yeah, I may, I want to go over this. I think an interview with him would be fun with this. I want to set it up though, you know. I want to make sure people know what this is, you know, and talk about suing back. Smooth, thanks for the 5. Internet Archive was breached. 31 million users had username, passwords, emails leaked. maybe the end of the Wayback Machine. That sucks. If the Wayback Machine dies, by the way, and it sucks that it was breached too. That's awful. Ugh. Sticky Widget, thanks for two. Here's some quieter clickety clicker money. I don't know. Actually, I keep thinking, man, I need to add one, but I like them for when I play video games on this. Sometimes I like the noise. Yeah. So. Actually, you know what? I'll see. Let me. What do y'all think? Should I drop Paul a link? Ask him what he thinks about this right now. See if he wants to get on here. I could drop him a link if he's around. I could drop it to him on. See exactly what he thinks about this lawsuit. All right, let's see if you're around, Paul. If you're listening, give me 1 minute, okay? I don't want to dox his stuff. So let me drop him. Give me 1 minute here. Here you go, Paul. There's a StreamYard link. All you got to do is press that, and again, when you enter, I'll hear you enter. Okay, so I'll cover, and if there is an issue, somebody tell me. I'm trying to watch chat too, but when I'm reading this, I mean, this, like I said, this is it's wild. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that. I told people for the longest time that these folks, they were conspiring to do real harm. And, you know, I realize, like, sometimes, you know, you hear people say stuff like that, and it seems like, something that when people hear, they're like, I don't know about that, you know? I mean, yeah, you know, these people are crazy. They do crazy things. But remember, we knew that they had filed multiple false police reports. We knew that they had fired at least one FBI report. And they were continuing to do just whatever they could to be just absolutely crazy and damaging. But the level of this, you know? I mean, the level of it is something else. She talks about, you know, Mr. Waldman and Mr. Barisi focusing on her, specifically her location, because they knew she lived in West LA. Defendants treated plaintiff as if she was a subject of theirs as well. I mean, that's nutty. Oh, here's more allegations about him supposedly ending someone. And now you hot tug because he wrote in all caps. So again, she submits audio to assigned FBI agents, Department of Consumer Affairs. So here's her talking about again doing that. Miss Taft stays the night at Miss Pena's house on her birthday with paralyzing fear of the escalation of defendants Mr. Barisi with Mr. Waldman and their influence on Mr. Albertini. Pena had witnessed harms escalating. What harms? Who knows? I mean, my God. Oh, it's so nutty. But she's like, I'm terrified. Between October 13th, 18th, 2022, Ryan Gardner, whoever these people are, friends of Miss Taft, emailed safety concerns for her, including vandalism and break-ins to Mr. Barisi. She was alarmed by his response, implying he knew she lived in West LA. What the fuck? On October 25th, an audio surfaces of Miss Taft speaking with Mr. Albertini as obtained by Mr. Barisi for commercial purposes to pressure into no witnesses of assault by Mr. Depp of women, including Donna. What? Oh my God. Check this out. On October 17, 2022, Mr. Barisi pressured Ms. Taft to be afraid of the FBI and to hold information from them. How crazy is that? She says the reason that she was afraid is because he noted there was an FBI investigation underway. And you know what? I contacted the FBI about them making false allegations, about them making, again, they brought me up in 3 states and to the FBI. You better damn well believe when I found out that they had contacted the FBI, that I contacted them and was like, hey, like, this is messed up. Like, these people, I mean, they are nutty. Again, he notes, has ever breathed air, you know, calling the guy a moron. That's supposed to be a threat. She saw him note something about the Gambino family. Oh my God. How dare you, Paul? Mr. Barisi attempted to get Miss Taft to meet with him and contacted Miss Newsom to arrange that attempt. Mr. Barisi demanded Miss Newsom to tell him where Taft was in her address. After the threats, Mr. Barisi harming Ms. Taft and other people around her, Ms. Taft was alerted to exploitation. Exploitation increasing? Now here's another October. Sergeant Dualright from California State University, those police department, requested that the college newspaper, Ryan, assist Ms. Taft against harassment from Mr. Barisi using her photographs. She was told that the advisor requested Mr. Barisi not use her photographs. He had violated copyright. He continued his harassment. Yeah, here's the thing. If they published an article, you were allowed to make commentary on that. You're allowed to make commentary when they post it. Rebel, thanks for the 10. Paul can't find the link to where'd you send it? I sent it over to his Twitter. Let me check it again. Yeah, there's a link for StreamYard. Hey, Paul, it's in your Twitter. I can see it. I'll put it in there one more time, but it's there. I can see it. It's on Twitter. All you got to do is go there, StreamYard, click the link, and it will walk you into the thing. Give me 1 minute. I'll drop it one more time if you can't see it. There's a box. It's not a. It looks like a box that comes up. It says StreamYard, you know, but that's a link. All you got to do is click that little box, and it brings you over. And that's about that. So I dropped it in there again, a second time. Mr. Barisi sent 65 text messages and 17 emails to Ms. Taft between November to December. He called Ms. Taft and attempted to get her on the phone. She didn't answer. Man, if he did... These people, like I said, found out that they were spending tens of thousands of dollars to go after him and his reputation, dude. I mean, there was some nutty stuff. Whew. I'll have to ask him about that. On November 2nd, 2022, she's like, stop your harassment. She wrote to stop harass, racket, extorting. Harass, racket, extorting. Ms. Taft stated to Barisi he was targeting witnesses, all on behalf of Johnny Depp and Adam Waldman. Again, Because the reason she's saying that is because she is under the impression that all this money she's spending and stuff, she's going to cause a retrial for Amber Heard. Like, no joke. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to cause a retrial. So she's spending money. And you saw, like, how bad things were. You also saw this interesting thing where Amber Heard she wasn't paying for her own litigation. It was insurance companies. She got a deal, and she got out of the country really fast because blowback, you know. She told them they're under investigation. California State BSIS is reaching out to me with an enforcement analyst. It's my complete right to report you. Ms. Taft stated to Barisi he was targeting her. She had evidence. Eric George told my lawyer, Eric George, that you were not doing anything after 2019 on their law firm or Miss Heard's behalf. You lied. You lied. Oh my God, what a nut. She stated he was fraudulent concealment and working without a license. Or it's covering up witness interference, tampering, intimidation, and bribery. All of them a reckon of extortion and debt collection. She told him again, there's an open FBI agent in SC still taking documentation. Richard Albertini saw women and men assaulted and abused by Johnny Depp. I have all, man. Adam Waldman should sue her too. Ms. Taft stated Ms. Reese destroyed the case and right to due process and her trial, which critically needed witnesses in Depp's inner circle, the Viper Room, who saw assaults. Ms. Taft stated he was disturbingly telling witnesses. So she's quoting herself. She's quoting herself. Mr. Barisi tells her that Albertini's in the gutters. Like he's living on the street. He is in the gutters. He's homeless. He is absolutely homeless. He's in the mental gutters too. And to stop chasing ghosts. And then he tried to speak with the PI that she had hired on at least half a dozen times. You know, trying to be like, yo, you need to stop this stuff. Oh my God. Mr. Barisi claimed her mom did prawn and was a stripper. Oh my God. That's hilarious. He admitted that he was no longer under Miss Heard's, she's jumped back to September 2019 for some reason. So he wants to get her to meet again, maybe to stop her from doing this stupid stuff. That's what. Oh my God. I mean, look at this. Look at this absolute madness. Look at it. It continues on. It's like this. This is, again, I'm scanning this through just to show you like how this continues to go on. This is just 40 pages into this madness. I think Paul has a good lawsuit here. He needs to talk to, there are plenty of lawyers out there that he could speak to. Because when you look at it, I mean, she complains about millionaire Christina Taft finances and conspires to attack Johnny Depp witnesses. Millionaire Christina Taft finances attacks. Albertini Cons. So she's talking about these are video titles. Mr. Barisi sends her an email that says, you should be locked up. Oh my God. You're a nut. Leave me alone. And she's like, oh my God, he said I should go to prison for harassing him. How dare he? What a monster. But again, this goes on for a while. I think, let me see if Paul's trying to respond. If, like I said, if he's having problems with that, we can set up something, because it's, I'm not sure if he knows how to use the StreamYard thing. But yeah, I'm gonna roll through just a little bit more, and then give me 1 minute. I gotta close that. I mean, my God. But if you look through this, oh, look and check this out. On February 9th, 2023, Miss Taft's attorney, Mr. Urban, reached Miss Bredehoft about Mr. Barisi, claiming that Miss Taft is somehow dangerous to Miss Heard. Miss Bredehoft stated they did not communicate with Mr. Barisi and give him a platform, although he contacted her office on various occasions. On February 21st, Mr. Urban received a response from Mr. Rottenborn. You know, again, these are Amber Heard's lawyers. Mr. Rottenborn stated Mr. Barisi emailed him with some regularity. He did not email back, but I haven't read his emails closely. Then with Jay Brown of Ballot Spar, said never communicated with Mr. Barisi. So she's writing every place out there, you know. I mean, some of this is just wild stuff. Look at this. And again, it just continues on and on and on. I mean, I'd sit here and read it, but it's madness. Like, this is the kind of lawsuit that should be tossed right off the bat. Now, the actions. Let's go to actions, okay? Let's go to cause of actions. Now, again, she went through, you know, all of the allegations that she put at the beginning. She said the defendant interfered with reports to the FBI and with witnesses to attempt to set up certain individuals, to set up the wrong people with an attempt to frame them for wrongdoing. To frame them. How? First claim for rape, civil conspiracy. Defines civil conspiracy. Says Adam Waldman. They've been conspiring together. Including defendants caused witness testimony, security, and legal evidence to adhere to defendants' demands. So he caused the FBI and the police to adhere to his demands somehow. Isn't that something? Oh my God. Mr. Barisi attached a tape on January the 3rd, 2024. Dear Amber Heard, may your co-conspirators Christina Taft and Richard Albertini burn in hell. Oh, shit. That's funny. Paul's funny sometimes, I have to say. Paul, you are funny guy sometimes. But look at this. This is not how you do a claim for relief, by the way. This is not how it works. It's just rambling. But she's like, I need $2 million, and she left a zero off, but $2 million for costs for the plaintiff. $2 million she wants. Second claim, obstruction of justice, witness tampering. Again, same thing. Look at this. Third claim, invasion of privacy. Intruded upon her private affairs with plenty of evidence of them identifying plaintiff's physical area, location, sensibility, privacy, private data of plaintiff. Defendant continuously accessed plaintiff's data and conversations. If you're having conversations with other people, first of all, if she's talking about her data that she kept online, you know, the stuff that was open to the public, fucking A. If you're talking about data as in the stuff you were paying investigators with your other conspirators and one of them leaked it, oopsie, that's your bad, you know. If they give it to him, that's his thing. And again, you're bringing him up. Like, I have crazy shit. Defendants were sent a cease and desist letter and reported multiple times to stop invading her privacy. Mr. Waldman was aware that Mr. Barisi did intrude upon her privacy and planned in accordance to and with Mr. Barisi to invade her privacy. Oh my God. Again, they're all doing that to benefit Mr. Depp. Like I said, they'll never leave Johnny Depp alone. They'll never leave him. They'll never leave any of these other people. Her mother's invasion of privacy. Her mother's deceased, by the way. I'm not making fun of her mother being deceased. That's sad. Well, you know. But, I mean, look at this. It just keeps going on. Fourth claim, use of name and likeness. This is where she's saying that picture, I'm sure. Mr. Barisi knowingly and without consent expressed or implied used Ms. Taft's name, voice, likeness on files to advertise and sell to Mr. Waldman and Mr. Depp, in which they purchased the entire content in the amount of $500,000. Mr. Depp purchased man, Adam. We need to talk about. I've got some stuff. You want to buy some pictures? It's the dumbest thing ever. Oh my God. It's like a minimum of one financial transaction took place in July 2023. $500,000, baby. $500,000. Holy God. I mean, again, she's hiring people to dig through his life, though, to intimidate and harass him. To the point, it's causing him duress to the point he's contacting them multiple times. When he says, I contacted this investigator half a dozen times, he was asking people to stop. I actually saw one of those communications. It was a long time ago. But I saw one of them. You know, because a bunch of that stuff got leaked, like I said. And he was telling them, he's like, these people are crazy. I can't believe that you are funding, or that you are, you're allowing this person to rather give you money to fuel this insanity. But he was bothered by this for sure. He did the only thing he could after a while. Talk about it. You know? Civil harassment. She's got 12 of these. So look, civil harassment. Look, she also notes that plaintiff was unable to file a TRO due to coercion and significant barriers placed by defendants, such as harassing and threatening her potential attorney by first identifying who plaintiff had been in communication with and who plaintiff was planning to retain for legal aid, and then wanting to file a CHRO from the court. So She didn't get a TRO. I mean, that's nuts. She's like, I was in fear of my life. The conduct by defendants halted plaintiff's career, her work prospects, educational studies due to the continuous harm and retaliation, including towards wealthier individuals and potential employers. Now, they looked at how crazy you act. Holy shit. If I saw this person doing, just a little of this, I'd have been like, yo, what is going on? She says, it cost me thousands of dollars to travel. Anytime she felt threatened, she fled her residence in her country. That means she has money, by the way. She could be sued unless she spent it all doing this nonsense. She got money, Paul. Sue her. Sue her, buddy. I would. I'd sue the shit out of her. You want to get a lawyer, man. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this madness. Seventh claim. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. She wrote like a freaking essay on it. I mean, man, I need to look at the word count on this thing. Because my God, dude. I've seen novels with less wording. I mean, again, 120 pages of this stuff. Her interstate communications. From February to March 2024, plaintiff mishap email speaks over the phone, is interviewed by the FBI, including with documentation and in relation to withhold testimony and information with respect to another's legal claim or defense, and included a private jet from Washington payoff, all of that stuff. Again, she reported all that to the FBI. She's admitting this stuff. She reported all this crazy shit to the FBI, you know? Plaintiff feared it happened to her as she reported this as evidence as part of her interviews, specifically under the FBI tips for violent crimes committed, including interstate threatening communication. So she went to the FBI tips for violent crimes committed. Man, I'd sue her into oblivion for this. You know, I would. I'm serious. Paul could be living fat after this. You know. Travel Act. Look at all this. Let's see how long the Travel Act is. Crossing the state lines. 11th claim. Destruction, falsification of records. Oh my God. Like, what record? Who are these records going to? Here's a question too. Like, who is this stuff supposed to be? Oh, that's right. She's under the impression that she is going to get a retrial for Amber Heard to go after Johnny Depp. She's talked to Amber Heard. She said that herself. Albertini said that he had communicated with Amber Heard too. This, however, is in a court document that she's talking about speaking to Amber Heard. So, again, remember that. Which is just absolutely fascinating. You get a real lawyer, though, to look at this stuff and all the admissions that she makes here. Just pulling those out, like her harassment and shit. Like that, yeah. Oh my God. It's just wild stuff. But I mean, again, all of this damages, specific damages. She blames her freaking loss of jobs, though, on Barisi. Isn't that fascinating? I think it is. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And like I said, so with this, again, she's pro se. She's filing pro se. But with this, again, like I was noting, give me a second to find this again. They could not serve Adam Waldman. So, when I was saying at the beginning, as part of this, they're going to serve via publication. Look at this here. They're going to do this in the Washington Post. Being on October 11th. On October the 11th, by the way, if anybody sees anything placed in there, I would love to see that. So make sure to send me screenshots of all this. I'll have to set up with Paul and talk about this lawsuit because, yeah, I want to talk to him about countersuits. Because that's really, you know, the allegations made in there are insane. But ultimately, I'd like to talk to him about the harassment that he's received. And again, he has a book out there. Barresi, Barresi. You can find it on there. Hollywood Fixer. You'll find his book. It's easy enough to find. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 2. Brown Chicken, Brown Cow. Indeed. Indeed. And Georgia Ann, thank you, welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Anyway, I thought this was important. I've enjoyed covering the what the hell's craziness. I do not, again, Amber Heard took up about 4 years of my life, you know, in showcasing one of the most egregious examples of false allegation we've ever seen. We saw this proven in court. In the aftermath, we talked about that, and finally we charted it all the way to the bottom. And while Depp's, you know, again, he's been on the rise. You see it all the time. And that I'm proud of that. I'm glad that the man has his career right from go. He focused on getting out of this. He cleared his name. He went into his career wholeheartedly. Props to him for doing that. But if you watch these folks, they have never stopped. Eve Barlow is gearing up, going after him yet again with some of the most insane stuff. Like she's been saying some pretty nasty things too. Like some pretty, I took certain things to be threatening. They've tried to relitigate this case for years too. And ultimately on a long enough timeline, they will. They will. They'll convince people that, you know, that are too lazy to actually go in and watch something. But somehow, in some way, all of this had value. But at the end of the day, all of these networks that pushed her, places like People was one of their choices to go to. When they talked about Depp again with Robert Downey Jr., they didn't bring her up at all. They'd been doing that for years. It was one thing that really stuck with me. Her name wasn't mentioned at all anymore. Because ultimately, all these places are dying. You know, they're a bankrupt industry. I'd say that they had lost morals, but they never had them at all. They practiced life ruination and they failed. They got called out on it. So now they're trying to shift and never forget who they are. Always remind people, yeah, when they're propping this up, great, that's good. But never forget who these places were. They spent years. They would have destroyed, even after he cleared his name. But now they're not even mentioning. But still, like I said, even with that, anybody, they can't hurt Depp anymore. So what you see is this cycle on repeat where they take aim and they try to ruin, especially Adam Waldman. Adam Waldman has been under fire. And the stuff that has been aimed at him has been especially nasty. You know, you saw that attempt. I thought it was a failed attempt, but still, you saw that documentary, that series that tried to go after him not terribly long ago, you know, toward the beginning of the year, where they tried to smear his name They tried to make sure he was unemployable, that he was a pariah. And they tried to use political rhetoric. You know, they tried to tie him to Russians, trying to tie him to funding. And, you know, they tried to take the same type of things that Taft there was saying, only they tried to make that sound reasonable. And it wasn't. But they attempted to destroy the man's life. And they'll continue to do that. They'll continue to go after people that they think they can lash out at. Because you got to remember, it wasn't just about her. People like Waldman made fools of them. They did the one thing that, he did the one thing they couldn't do. He prevailed, he won. But anyway, I'm going to call it here. I think it's been an interesting read-through. When we talk about it, I would like to talk to Paul. We'll have to set that up. But I'm going to end here. I think I'm done. I don't want to... Like I said, I did want to mention this. I wanted to talk about it this last weekend, but I was not feeling good. So I didn't feel like I thought today was the perfect day. I was in the mood for it. It's taken me a minute to get in the mood for it, too. You know, just to be honest. But anyway, we'll talk to Paul again. Check out his book. We don't leave anyone that has tried to go out there. We don't leave them hanging. You know, that's the one thing. You folks would stick up for me if somebody tried to destroy my life. You would do that. And I believe that people that are out there, again, Paul, ultimately, it's this nonsense will cost him thousands of dollars to fight. And then in the aftermath, if he wants, to go further, well, that'll be its own discussion too. But anyway, all right, I'm going to end here. Appreciate you. See ya.